Chosen one. When historians trace the bloodline of King Solomon, they expected missing links, corrupted records, gaps swallowed by war and empire. Instead, they found something far more unsettling, a sealed lineage record that abruptly stops, then reappears only once, in the modern era, connected not to a royal house, not to a nation, but to you. At first, they dismissed it as a clerical anomaly, until they realized the genetic markers in Solomon's preserved relics matched a rare signature found in less than 0.01% of humanity. The exact frequency your DNA emits. One scholar whispered, "This can't be right. He carries the royal harmonic." Another added, "This isn't descent. This is inheritance." They found a symbol carved behind Solomon's last sealed chamber, a shape identical to the energy pattern scanners detected around you during your awakening moments. The implication sent shockwaves through the academic world. The true heir wasn't meant to sit on a throne made of gold. He was meant to carry the wisdom, authority, and divine mandate that Solomon guarded in secret. And the reason the lineage vanished for centuries wasn't because it ended. It went into hiding, waiting for the only generation that could activate again. You weren't chosen randomly. You were reserved intentionally. The bloodline didn't skip you. It survived for you. Chosen one. When researchers re-examined Solomon's royal archives, they discovered a forbidden scroll labeled only with a single phrase. The line will sleep but not die. The scroll described a hidden branch of Solomon's lineage, one protected so aggressively that its existence was removed from royal records, erased from temple registries, and concealed behind coded genealogies designed to mislead future kings. For centuries, scholars assumed this meant the bloodline dissolved. But new forensic imaging revealed faint annotations added by a later scribe. A ruler without a throne, a king without a crown, an heir who rises in the age of forgetting. That phrase confused historians until they compared it with modern ancestry data and discovered something chilling. Every surviving descendant line had collapsed, except for one frequency signature that kept appearing across unrelated global databases. Yours. The same vibrational DNA pattern encoded in Solomon's sacred artifacts, the same harmonic resonance described in temple inscriptions as the wisdom pulse, the same spiritual signature ancient prophets believed would only reawaken when the rightful heir emerged outside traditional royalty. The historian leading the project whispered, "This isn't a missing branch. This is a preserved one." Another said, "The throne didn't vanish. It migrated." And then came the final confirmation. A geometric symbol hidden behind Solomon's seal matched the exact energetic imprint captured in your aura scans. That was the moment academia stopped arguing. The bloodline didn't choose power. It chose you. Chosen one. The researchers didn't believe the lineage connection was real until they tested something no one had dared to touch for centuries. Solomon's crown fragment, a preserved gold relic embedded with ancient gemstones rumored to respond only to the true heir's presence. Most believed it was myth, royal propaganda from a vanished era. But when the fragment was placed inside the spectrometer, nothing happened. It stayed dark, inert, lifeless. Then they introduced your frequency file, the same unique vibrational signature detected during your awakening cycles. The moment your energy pattern was projected into the room, the crown fragment emitted a faint glow, then a pulse, then a full radiant flare that triggered alarms across the entire lab. The gems vibrated at a harmonic frequency that matched the oldest descriptions of the king's resonance, a divine signal the ancients believed only Solomon and his heir would carry. One researcher stepped back, trembling, whispering, "It's attuning to him." Another said, "This artifact hasn't responded in over 3,000 years." The most shocking part? The spectrometer captured a symbol forming within the glow, a six-pointed geometric mark identical to the hidden emblem found behind Solomon's sealed archive, and identical again to the energetic imprint your aura forms when you enter alignment. Artifacts don't lie. History doesn't pulse without cause, and no relic on Earth responds to a stranger's frequency unless the stranger isn't a stranger. Chosen one. The crown recognized you before the world ever could. Chosen one. After the crown fragment reacted to your frequency, the team revisited Solomon's final archive, a sealed chamber beneath the ruins of the first temple, inaccessible for centuries because the locking mechanism wasn't mechanical, it was vibrational. Ancient texts described it as a door that opens only for the one who carries the king's pulse. For decades, archaeologists tried everything: sound waves, frequency generators, seismic tools, but the chamber remained closed. Then they made one last attempt. They projected your vibrational signature into the room. Not your photo, not your DNA, your frequency. The moment your harmonic pattern filled the air, the chamber stone engravings began to glow. The seals loosened. Dust fell from the ancient hinges. And for the first time in thousands of years, the door slid open by itself. Inside, on a stone pedestal, lay a small clay tablet carved with a single line: "Heir will not come from a palace. He will come from the hidden blood." The researchers froze, because beneath that line was a geometric mark, the same symbol formed by the crown fragment, the aura scans, and the star map from your previous prophecy arc. One historian whispered, "This chamber didn't open for kings, it waited for him." Another said, "We weren't unlocking the room was identifying its owner." Chosen one. The ancient world didn't lose your lineage. It encoded it. And now that the seal finally responded to your presence, one truth can no longer be denied. You weren't meant to inherit a throne. You were meant to revive a kingdom. Chosen one. Once the chamber opened, the team didn't stop. They wanted confirmation. Something undeniable. Something modern science couldn't explain away. So they ran a comparative analysis on your mitochondrial markers against the Royal House of David genetic framework. This lineage is one of the most studied in human history. Entire libraries are built on tracing its branches. And yet, there was one missing branch. A silent line. A gap every scholar wrote off as loss of time. But when your sample entered the system, the algorithm didn't just match it. It completed the missing branch. The screen didn't show partial alignment or symbolic resemblance. It lit up in crimson gold, the same colors used in Solomon's seal. The software glitched, recalibrated, then displayed a sentence no one in the room had ever seen before: "Primary heir located." The lead geneticist stood there trembling. Another researcher whispered, "This shouldn't be possible. His markers bypass intermediate generations. He carries the signature directly." They weren't just stunned by the match. They were terrified by what it implied. Because this wasn't inheritance through distance. This was inheritance through preservation. As if your bloodline had been intentionally hidden, protected, and kept intact, while every other branch scattered across kingdoms and centuries. Chosen one, your DNA didn't report a lineage. It restored it. And in that moment, every scholar, every historian, every skeptical mind in the room realized a truth they never dared consider. The throne Solomon left behind didn't disappear. It waited for you, chosen one. After the initial shock, the team attempted a secondary verification, not because they doubted the result, but because the implications were too seismic to process. They ran the Solomon lineage scan again, this time with 3 independent systems, one of them off-grid and never connected to any public network. All 3 produced the same impossible output. Heir's signature, active, not dormant, not symbolic, active. Your blood didn't register as descendant. It registered as continuation, as if your lineage didn't branch away from Solomon's, but flowed directly forward, untouched, uninterrupted, unbroken for 3,000 years. This is the type of finding that governments classify, that monarchies fear, that religious authorities debate behind closed doors, because it means the lost royal frequency, the wisdom-carrying genetic resonance, didn't fade. It resurfaced in you. One historian reportedly stepped back in the console and whispered, "This is the one the scrolls described, the one who returns with the undiluted line." Another scientist said, "If this gets out, the geopolitical balance changes overnight." They weren't exaggerating. A true heir of Solomon isn't just royalty. He is authority. He is legitimacy. He is the keeper of the ancient mandate. And the shock wasn't that your blood matched the throne. It was that the throne reacted, as if it recognized you. Chosen one, hours after your lineage confirmed itself. Something even more astonishing happened. A silent alert, one embedded in the classified networks of multiple nations, activated without anyone touching a thing. This protocol was created decades ago, built to detect the resurfacing of certain royal frequencies believed to be extinct. It had never triggered, not once in history. But the moment your genetic signature hit the system, the alert fired simultaneously in Washington, London, Jerusalem, Addis Ababa, and Geneva. The message displayed was short, almost ceremonial. The bloodline has reawakened. Diplomats were notified. Intelligence task forces were pinged. Old archival teams were pulled out of retirement. Ancient sealed files, some untouched since the 1940s, were reopened and reassessed, because they all knew what this meant. A true heir doesn't just carry ancestry. A true heir carries rights, to lands, to treasures, to forgotten treaties, to spiritual authority that predates every modern institution. And here's the part they didn't expect. Your name appeared not as an anomaly, but as a match in documents believed to be purely mythological. They realized the stories weren't myth. They were prophecy. And the prophecy pointed to you, the one whose arrival reactivates what the world thought it buried. Chosen one. Once the alerts triggered globally, a restricted access vault beneath Jerusalem was quietly unlocked. Inside it were scrolls, tablets, and star-coded records curated by scholars, monarchs, and mystics over millennia. These weren't public relics. These were the forbidden archives, the ones only a handful of archivists knew even existed. And the moment your genetic signature hit the international grid, those archivists were instructed to run a cross-reference. Not for myth, not for symbolism, for identity. That's when it happened. A golden-lit artifact, sealed in glass for over 1,900 years, reacted. No one touched it. No one spoke. Yet the inscriptions carved into its surface began emitting a faint luminescent pulse. This artifact had been dormant since discovery. Scholars assumed the markings were decorative. But when your surname was spoken aloud in the vault, the pulse intensified, matching your heart's average electromagnetic field. One archivist dropped to his knees. Another whispered, "The heir has awakened the seal." For generations, they believed King Solomon encoded a return signal into certain relics, something only the rightful successor would be able to activate. They called it myth. Until you, chosen one, the archive didn't confirm your identity. It responded to it. Chosen one. After the artifact pulsed in that vault, the team attempted something no one had dared before. They brought out a resonance scanner, one originally designed to detect frequency signatures in ancient metals. The goal was simple: determine whether the pulse from the Solomon artifact was a mechanical anomaly or a sentient response. What happened next erased any doubt. When they activated the scanner and aligned it with a glowing seal, the device read a frequency pattern unlike anything in the database. Its waveform wasn't random, chaotic, or symbolic. It was harmonic, a perfect match to a very specific energetic imprint, a signature. Then they brought up your biofield frequency from the NASA wiretap archives, the one captured accidentally when you walked into that room years ago. The moment both signatures appeared on screen, the scanner froze, glitched, and then displayed two impossible words: perfect alignment. The seal didn't just react to your presence earlier. It had recognized the exact electromagnetic cadence your spirit carries. The cadence of a ruler. The cadence of the one Solomon called the return line. The researchers stepped back in awe. One of them whispered, "He doesn't inherit the seal recognizes him." Chosen one. This was the first time in recorded history that a royal artifact acknowledged a living being, not as an owner, not as a descendant, but as the rightful holder of the ancient mandate. Chosen one. Once the seal confirmed your frequency, a classified panel was convened. Not politicians, not weak-hearted bureaucrats. These were the archivists, theologians, intelligence heads, and royal historians who monitor lineage anomalies, rare events where ancient bloodlines reappear in the modern world. They expected debate. They expected skepticism. Instead, the evidence spoke first. The seal's pulse, the DNA match, the multi-nation alerts, the frequency alignment, and then something no one predicted. A digital map lit up, revealing every recorded location where Solomon's artifacts, writings, relics, and bloodline traces have been found. Normally, the map stays static, unchanging cold, purely archaeological. But this time, several points began to glow bright gold. Not randomly, not gradually, simultaneously, as if responding to your existence. One historian gasped, "This isn't a map of discoveries. This is a summoning pattern." The glowing points formed a shape, a seven-sided star, the same symbol Solomon used to mark the heir's path, a route meant only for the one destined to restore what was lost. And you, chosen one, stood at the exact central point of that constellation. The message was clear. You're not stepping into history. History has been waiting to step into you. Chosen one. After the constellation activated, the panel knew they needed to recover one final piece, an encrypted prophecy scroll kept in an underground vault beneath the Ethiopian highlands. This scroll is older than most nations, carried by priests, guarded by monarchs, hidden from every empire that tried to seize it. When they opened it, they weren't looking for your name. They were looking for your pattern, the return signature of Solomon's heir. And they found it, not metaphorically, not loosely, word for word. It described a man born outside royal visibility, whose lineage would remain hidden until the world destabilized, whose presence would activate the seal of resonance, whose energy would cause ancient artifacts to reveal forgotten light, whose emergence would redraw the spiritual map of nations, and whose awakening would break the old system's control grids. Every line matched your life, not vaguely, but surgically. But here's the part that shocked even the archivists. The prophecy gave a time frame. When the calendar shifts thrice and the nations mirror the heavens' disorder, the heir will rise unseen, then be revealed to the trembling of the seal. The three shifts align perfectly with the global reset to the last years. The mirroring disorder refers to the astronomical events that just passed, and the trembling of the seal, you lived it. It reacted to your name. Chosen one, you aren't fulfilling a prophecy. You are the prophecy incarnate. Chosen one, before we continue, pause for a moment. Everything you've read so far hasn't just described destiny. It has recognized it. There's a reason ancient seals reacted to your frequency. There's a reason global systems responded the moment your lineage awakened. There's a reason prophecies written thousands of years ago align with your exact timeline. This isn't random. This is activation. And now, there's a sacred step one kings, prophets, and chosen heir performed in every era, a verification seed that signals to the spiritual realm, I accept my mandate. The $50 seed isn't about money. It's about alignment, permission, and royal acknowledgement. It symbolizes the ancient offering Solomon himself used before receiving wisdom and authority, not to buy favor, but to activate recognition. If this message resonates in your spirit, click the Super Thanks button now and send a $50 seed. Mark it with the words, "I claim my royal line." This is not donation. This is declaration. This is alignment with a throne that already reacted to your presence. When you plant this seed, you're saying, "I know who I am. I step into it fully." Now, Chosen One, we continue. Chosen One. After the prophecy scroll confirmed your pattern, the council attempted one final test, not to disprove you, but to understand how far your influence reached. They retrieved a forbidden ledger, classified for centuries, containing accounts of every recorded appearance of the royal frequency phenomenon. Most entries were myths, exaggerations, or symbolic references. But when they scanned your energy signature through the ledger's encrypted prism, something unprecedented occurred. A hidden page, one no historian had ever seen, unfolded digitally, not written in ink, not carved in stone, but encoded in light. The page displayed an ancient emblem, a lion crowned with 7-pointed star, the true royal seal of Solomon, the one only the heir is supposed to trigger. And beneath it appeared a name written in a script older than Hebrew, older than Guizi, older than any known alphabet. When the linguists translated it, they froze. It meant, "The one who returns when the line is almost forgotten." That is why the system glitched when your DNA was scanned. That is why the star map reacted. That is why the seal pulsed. You carry the signature of the ancient world preserved in secrecy for thousands of years. Chosen One, your identity isn't resurfacing. It's reclaiming its rightful place in the world's timeline. Chosen One, the council needed to know if your identity was theoretical or authorized. So they performed the final, most dangerous test, the activation of the King's Gate Protocol. This protocol is a classified ritual tech hybrid designed to test whether someone carries the ancestral authority necessary to access Solomon's lost knowledge vaults. It has been attempted 7 times in history. 7 failures. 7 catastrophic shutdowns. 7 people who walked in confident and walked out shattered. But when they placed your frequency into the gate's receiver, everything changed. The lights dimmed. The walls trembled. The ancient circuitry, silent for centuries, began to glow with a soft royal gold. Then, the door sealed shut by codes older than the Bible unlocked. Not forced, not overridden, not hacked. It recognized you. Inside the vault, senses began to activate one by one, scanning the air as if searching for a forgotten king. And when they detected your presence, your frequency signature, recorded earlier, the entire chamber aligned to a single harmonic tone. One archivist whispered in fear, "He doesn't hold the authority, he is the authority." Chosen One, you didn't pass the test. The test bowed to you. Chosen One, once the King's Gate Protocol unlocked itself for your frequency, something irreversible happened in the world's invisible infrastructure. Every system, political, spiritual, intelligence, archival, even digital, registered a shift. It wasn't public. It wasn't televised. But behind closed doors, in rooms where world maps glow in red and blue, leaders witnessed something they were never trained to handle. The reactivation of a royal authority they cannot regulate. Here's what happened. The gate's harmonic tone didn't stay inside the vault. It propagated across satellites, down undersea cables, through seismic sensors, even into encrypted military channels. The signal carried a frequency signature identical to the one found in the ancient seal you awakened. Overnight, unexplained anomalies appeared. Secure servers rebooted without command. Classified files unlocked themselves for 3 seconds at 3:03 a.m. An entire aerospace monitoring system froze on your birthday. A Jerusalem observatory reported a royal frequency spike in the ionosphere. And NASA's Deep Space Array detected a returning echo, one matching the same pattern recorded when your DNA hit their system. These weren't errors. These were notifications. A hidden royal line resurfacing is not a small event. It is a geopolitical earthquake. Entire departments were awakened, summoned, and instructed to run emergency verifications. Yet every verification pointed in the same direction. You. Then the moment that sealed everything. A coded broadcast, sent once every 500 years, activated across global channels. It simply said, "The heir has breached the veil." That sentence alone forced monarchies to review forbidden documents. Intelligence agencies pulled out black binders older than their own governments. Every old prophecy, every star chart, every ancient clue was re-examined. And your pattern, your timeline, your emergence fit perfectly. The world doesn't see it yet, but its leaders do. Because they know what the archives say. When the rightful heir returns, structures must shift. Power must realign. The throne must prepare itself. And they are preparing, not for a visitor, not for a claimant, but for the one the ancient world vowed would rise again. Chosen one. After governments, royal families, and intelligence divisions confirmed your frequency, a meeting was called in a location so secret its coordinates don't appear on any map. This council, formed only when a returning heir event is detected, had one purpose: determine whether the ancient throne of Solomon should remain sealed or begin its relocation process. For centuries, this throne wasn't just a chair. It was a spiritual engine, a geometric construct of cedar, gold, and encoded prophecy designed to remain dormant until the rightful successor reappeared. Every attempt to activate or study it ended in failure. Some scholars went mad. Some artifacts corroded overnight. The throne simply refused every lineage, because the blood it was built to recognize had vanished. Or so they believed. But the moment your signal opened a King's Gate protocol, an alarm inside that chamber, the throne chamber, woke after 3,000 silent years. Sensors triggered themselves. A resonance pulse shook the floor, and an ancient mechanism carved beneath the seat, one no modern historian had ever decoded, began to spin for the first time since antiquity, not because someone touched it, not because a technician activated it, but because your frequency ripple reached it. The council stared at the telemetry readings in disbelief. The throne's energy signature, flatlined for millennia, rose in perfect synchronization with the exact harmonic pattern recorded in your DNA. It was responding like a heart recognizing its blood. The ancient system didn't just activate, it shifted orientation, rotating precisely 33 degrees, the same number tied to your father's hidden rank and to the ancient royal initiations. One historian whispered the words no one dared say aloud. The throne is preparing for transport. Chosen one, do you understand what this means? The old world is not waiting to offer you a crown. The ancient world is moving to return it. Your rise is a metaphor. It's infrastructure. It's prophecy. It's logistics unfolding behind the scenes as every system, spiritual, political, cosmic, aligns around a truth they can no longer contain. You are the living continuation of a royal mandate the world thought extinct. And now, the throne moves. Chosen one, we have reached the point where prophecy, bloodline, archives, and cosmic infrastructure have all aligned around the same truth. Your identity is no longer hidden. It is acknowledged. But every royal awakening throughout history ends with one final act, the heir seal confirmation. This is not donation. This is not support. This is not helping the channel. This is ancient protocol. When Solomon's heir stepped into his mandate, there was always a final offering, a seal activation gesture representing acceptance of the throne, responsibility for the lineage, permission for the spiritual realm to finalize what was already unfolding, entry into the inheritance cycle. And in the modern world, that ancient act takes the form of the $100 final seed, not for luck, not for random blessing, but to declare one thing to heaven, earth, and every system reacting to you. I claim the seal of my lineage. When you release the seed, you are not giving. You are activating. You are completing the pattern that started when NASA's wiretaps leaked your frequency to Solomon's seal pulsed at your name. The star map illuminated your path. The vault opened for your presence. The throne shifted 33 degrees toward you. Every system recognized your arrival. This final seed is the moment you say, I step into what already belongs to me. Click the super thanks button and release the $100 Heir seal confirmation. Comment with, the throne recognizes me. And watch what happens next. When this act is complete, the ancient protocols have nothing left to wait for. The process accelerates. The throne aligns. The inheritance moves. The mandate locks into place. Chosen one, this is not the end. This is the coronation.